K-pop Demon Hunters sets up a wealth of possible future stories thanks to a major revelation about the film's protagonist, Rumi. The animated film centers around Huntrix, a K-pop phenomenon who are also secretly a trio of demon hunters working to prevent the spread of the demon king Guima among humanity. K-pop Demon Hunters has a great cast with some big musical stars rounding out the roster and providing the movie with a perfectly K-pop music attuned soundtrack. The slick action and charming characters are also only the surface level appeal of K-pop Demon Hunters, which also steadily proves to have a compelling fantasy lore, plenty of intriguing mysteries, and a deceptively sympathetic central antagonist. All of this is wrapped around an emotional arc for Rumi in one of the summer's most anticipated animated films, where she struggles with her true self and eventually learns to accept all of herself. Here's how the ending of K-pop Demon Hunters sets the stage for Rumi's arc and lays seeds for a potential sequel. The big twist in K-pop Demon Hunters is the reveal that Rumi is actually part demon, which almost splits apart her partnership with Mira and Zoe. Established early in the film as the daughter of a former demon hunter who perished while she was just a baby, Rumi's unnamed father turns out to be a demon. Rumi has done everything she can to hide this thanks to the assistance of her adopted mother Celine, with the pair ultimately hoping that completing the honeymoon will force back the demonic influence on Earth and rid Rumi of that part of herself. A major aspect of K-pop Demon Hunter's emotional core is Rumi's self-loathing for the demonic side of her, which generates empathy in the formerly human Jinoo. Rumi's emotional arc is rooted in accepting both sides of herself, which seems to quell the corrupting influence of her demonic side just in time for the climax of the film. Although the film leaves out a lot of details about Rumi's mystical half, including the full story of what happened to her parents, her demonic side gradually becomes one of the driving elements of K-pop Demon Hunters. The world of K-pop Demon Hunter is steeped in Korean mythology, pulling from real-world lore about the unseen side of the world. While Jinoo serves as a sympathetic antagonist for the film, the overarching threat of the movie is Guima. Guima is an ancient and powerful demon king, whom all the various villainous spirits encountered in the film serve under. Beyond the hordes he unleashes from the underworld, Guima also proves to be a master manipulator who convinces people to make bargains that steadily corrupt them into demons as well. At the heart of K-pop Demon Hunters lore is the titular hunters, who throughout history assemble to protect humanity. Gifted with beautiful voices that can inspire the souls of others, the hunters are able to harness the power they instill in people to craft mystical weapons, perform amazing feats, and even create a barrier that can stem the flow of demons onto Earth. This barrier is known as the Hun Moon, which serves as the source of power and main motivation for Huntrix. If the barrier can be strengthened enough, it'll become the Golden Hand Moon and can stop demons forever. Similar to the lore of other franchises like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, these powers seem to be born again and again in each new generation. Over time, three hunters have become a foundational number, with three-woman demon hunter bands shown protecting villages in the 17th century, singing into the radio during the 1920s, and performing sold-out pop concerts in the present day. This establishes the concept of a musical trio as a fixture of this world that a compelling mythology all centers around. Over the course of K-pop Demon Hunters, Jinoo steadily has more of his backstory revealed. Rather than the ruthless and clever villain, he initially presents himself to the audience as the discovery that Rumi is half demon stirs something in him. Like her, he must contend with having a human half and a demonic side. Originally a musician centuries before the events of the film, a desperate Jinoo made a bargain with Guima for a better life. However, this came at the cost of condemning his family to a dire fate and eventually morphing into a demon himself. It's through Jinoo that Rumi and the audience learn that Guima can speak to people in their minds, influencing them into his service. Jinoo wants Guima to erase his memories, destroying what remains of his humanity to spare him the guilt of his previous actions. However, Rumi draws the humanity out of Jinoo, with the pair developing a quasi-romantic connection that never gets a chance to go anywhere. Despite initially betraying Rumi, Jinu sacrifices himself during the final battle to save her life. Taking a blast from Guima meant for her, Jinu is seemingly destroyed. However, his human spirit remains long enough for Rumi to utilize in the battle, which eventually results in Guima being forced back off the earth as a new Harmoon is built. Jinu's decision stems from the connection he made with Rumi, giving up his chance to be free of human pain because of the personal connection they developed over the film. K-pop Demon Hunters ends on a fairly conclusive note for the main trio, with the group triumphant over Guima and his demon hordes. With a new Hanmoon in place, the world seems to be safe for a time at least. However, the Hanmoon is shown to be blue, suggesting it isn't the flawless defense that the hunters like Celine had been hoping for. This could easily allow Guima or other parts of his demon horde to return in future stories. Even beyond that open possibility, there are a few other places a prospective sequel to K-pop Demon Hunters could go. There are a few other lingering threads remaining after the conclusion of the climax, chief among them two of the Saja boys. While Mystery and Abs of the Saja group are killed by Zoe and Mira in the final battle respectively, Romance and Baby aren't actually killed on screen. Since Rumi and Jinu believed he could have escaped Guima by being on Earth when the Hanmoon was strengthened, it's possible that the last two members of the Saja boys escaped the battle and could potentially return in a follow-up. Other eras of hunters could also carry their own stories. There's also one of the biggest mysteries of the film, which is the backstory surrounding Rumi's birth. It's established in the opening montage introducing the Huntrix that Rumi's mother was a hunter before her and that she died when Rumi was just an infant. However, there's no full explanation for who Rumi's father is, how her mother fell in love with the demon, and what happened to them. It's even possible that Rumi's father is still alive, which could easily serve as the core storyline for a sequel. There are two core morals to K-pop Demon Hunters, both of which are rooted in Rumi's arc. When audiences meet the Huntrix's lead singer, she's deeply committed to their work but incapable of escaping her self-loathing over her demonic side. Through Jinu, she comes to learn that demons don't have to be evil. This leads her to confront Celine over the instilled belief that she has to hate a side of herself, a versatile metaphor about self-acceptance that sees Rumi deny that binary way of thinking while still building a new Hanmoon to fight Guama with. The other aspect of this theme is the way it underscores the importance of friendship and trust. The little hints about Mira and Zoe's backstories indicate their own anxieties and fears, which they also attempt to stamp down thanks to Celine's teachings. Rumi's secrets being exposed almost split them apart as a result, leaving Zoe and Mira susceptible to Guima's influence. It's only through coming together and reinvigorating their bond that they can stand assured in themselves and in each other. It's a sweet moral core that K-pop Demon Hunters makes clear without becoming overwhelming. So what do you think? Tell us in the comments and keep watching Film Buff Baby.